I'm Bonnie Landrum. I'm with Wedel's Garden Center, and today we're going to be talking about houseplants, low light and high light houseplants, and some of their care. There's many varieties of Dracaenas. As you can see, this is the regular dragon plant, Dracaena warnicki. This is a corn plant. They call this the lemon lime warnicki. So there's many different varieties. They're easy care, they're low light. You see them growing in lots of malls and hospitals and places without a whole lot of light, like office buildings also. Very easy care. We also have something new called the ZZ plant. This is a very low light plant, easy care. This is a grape ivy. There's also an oak leaf ivy. It's very similar. This is in a tub, so it's standing upright, but when it gets growing, it'll hang down. It's a nice hanging plant. And another nice hanging plant is a pothos. This is the Marble Queen variety. When this gets longer, it'll hang, and it's great for a low light area that just needs a little greenery. It also comes on a pole. If you don't want it to hang, which it's going to, you can then put it on a pole and it'll grow upright. We also have another variety here that's called the snake plant. It's also called the mother-in-law's tongue. Easy care, low light. Your grandma probably had 2 or 3 sitting at her house, but the reason is because she didn't have to spend a whole lot of time caring for them. We have something called Luster Glow, and one of the ladies here calls this makeup for your plants. It doesn't help, it doesn't hurt, it just makes them look really pretty. So you can take and you can just shine it up and it makes it look really nice. You don't want to spray real close to it because it could burn the plant. And you also want to do it on days where the plant won't be right in the sunlight for any amount of time, because it could burn it if it was a bright sunny day in July. I was going to start a section now on higher light plants. These are plants that get good afternoon sun, possibly an east or a south window. West windows are good only if it's in the summer, but you want to make sure that when you're in a west window that it's not beating in the summer in July or August. It could burn your plants. So when I say highlight, I'm talking 8 to 10 months out of the year in a south or an east window. This is a ficus. This is a variegated ficus. They come in bush form. They also come in tree form, which you can see here. The tree form come in variegated also. There's lots of different varieties. This is the Ficus benjamina. It's not the easiest plant, but it sure is pretty. What they would like most is to not be moved a whole lot. So you turn most of your houseplants about once a month when you're watering. What we would suggest with a ficus is to do it once every 2 or 3 months is to turn it. And they're real easy to trim and keep the shape that you like. So if you like this shape, that's fine. If you think this is getting too long, you just come here to a crotch and then you just trim it right off. Okay, so we were going to continue now with some higher light plants. It's going to show you 2 different kinds of rubber plant. There is the rubber plant. This is also a ficus, but it's a different kind, obviously, than the last ones we talked about. This is a rubber plant and it's variegated. This is unvariegated. They both take the same amount of light. This one would take higher light. If you had a very, very bright area, this would take brighter light. In fact, sometimes you can even put these on a patio in the summer in higher light situations. There's lots of different varieties of crotons also. Crotons add really great color. There's oranges, reds, green, yellow, bright fiery colors, different varieties, different looks. This is another variety of croton plant. You can see it has way more red in it than this variety, so it's just another look, really pretty, tall. It can get quite tall. It can get 3, 4, 6 feet tall, but you could just trim back the new growth if you decided that you wanted something a little shorter. Everybody knows about ivy plants. These are really beautiful, variegated. There's non-variegated. There's an Algerian ivy that does take a lower light, but this is a higher light ivy. It's just really beautiful. So we were speaking about the croton plant. If you were to have a lower light situation with the croton, what you would get is more of the green leaves instead of the bright red leaves. The more light you give this plant, the brighter it will become. A lot of people ask us for houseplants that bloom, and there's not a lot of houseplants that bloom in Michigan. But one of the ones that do bloom in a house situation over and over is an anthurium. You might have seen this in Hawaii or Florida. These like the higher light and they require it to rebloom, so you'd want to definitely have a good south or an east window. The next plant I'd like to show you is an Arbicola shufflera, and it's really pretty. It's got variegated leaves. Again, the more light you give this plant, the more the variegation will show up, the yellow on it. It's really a beautiful plant. When it gets too tall again, you just clip it. One of the last plants that I'd like to talk about is another type of ficus that we already spoke of. Seems to be all ficus plants are a little bit are higher light. This is a fiddle leaf fig. It's got quite large leaves, but it also will get quite tall. It'll keep growing. It'll lose its leaves as it goes up, so you can even braid the bottom like the ficus benjaminas. This is an easy care low light plant. So when you hear the word ficus, don't be scared. Some of the other ficus are a little more picky, but this ficus is not picky. This is a fiddle leaf fig. So thank you for joining us for this video on high and low light plants, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it's very helpful. And more plants you have, the cleaner your air is in your home. Thank you.